A video is going viral on social media that shows a single penguin breaking away from its group and walking alone toward the mountains of Antarctica. Many people are relating this to human behavior, comparing it to depression, the desire to be alone, or making a huge life decision without any fear. But the reality of what's happening here is quite different. This scene is actually from a 2007 documentary called Encounters at the End of the World, directed by German filmmaker Werner Herzog. Who would have thought that nearly 2 decades later, a clip from this film would become an internet sensation? The life and nature of this innocent creature involves struggles and sacrifices so intense they're hard to believe. In 2007, German filmmaker Werner Herzog presented a scene in his documentary that, 2 decades later, has left a giant question mark on the internet. The clip shows an Adelie penguin separating from its colony and heading not towards the sea, but towards the mountainous regions of Antarctica. For these penguins at the South Pole, the sea is their source of food and life. But this lone penguin was leaving its food source behind, marching straight towards death, a place with no food and no hope for survival. What could be the reason for this? To understand, we need to learn about the nature of penguins. Why are these creatures forced to live 100 kilometers inland, leaving the sea behind? Antarctica is a part of the world where nature has made no allowances for any living being. It's the coldest continent on Earth, battered by the fiercest winds. Here, hurricane-force winds and temperatures dropping to -90 degrees C, -130 degrees F, are normal. In such extreme cold, a human body, if not properly covered, will begin to freeze in just 10 seconds. If you threw a cup of boiling water into the air here, it would freeze before it even hit the ground. So, the question arises, why did penguins choose this deadly cold as their home? The answer lies in their enemies and their hunger. While the land of Antarctica is barren and deadly, the ocean surrounding it is teeming with life. This freezing ocean is full of tiny, shrimp-like krill in such massive numbers that it's a feast for penguins. But the real reason they live here is their enemies. Penguins can't run fast and they can't fly. If they lived anywhere else, land predators would likely eat them or their eggs. The penguin's good fortune is that no other dangerous predator can survive the brutal cold of Antarctica. They have turned this fearsome environment into their shield. Nature has also equipped them with the strength to fight this extreme cold. Beneath their skin is a thick layer of fat called blubber, and their feathers are so dense that icy winds can't reach their bodies. Without a doubt, Antarctica is nature's gift to penguins. But nature doesn't give anything for free. If they get sanctuary from enemies here, the price they pay is having to face death every single year. Think of it as an annual test of life and death that they must pass. Not all penguins in the icy world of Antarctica are the same. 5 different species are found here. The heaviest, standing up to 4 feet tall, are the emperor penguins. Then there are chinstrap penguins, named for the thin black line under their chin. The third species is the gentoo penguin, recognized by its orange beak and the white stripe on its head. Next are the macaroni penguins, with stylish yellow feathers on their heads. Finally, there's the species seen in the viral video, the Adelie penguin, easily identified by the white ring around its eyes. When winter begins almost everywhere else in the world, animals and birds head for warmer regions. But in Antarctica, the exact opposite happens. Nearly all penguin species travel away from the sea to breed. They do this because the areas near the ocean are dangerous, home to leopard seals, killer whales, and birds that are predators of their eggs. Also, the conditions near the Antarctic coast are extremely harsh, with strong winds and waves that could wash their eggs away. Emperor penguins, in particular, are the only animals that head into the frozen interior during winter, and they do it for the same reason: to breed and continue their species. Every year in May and June, when winter begins, emperor penguins leave their food-rich ocean and start traveling together in massive numbers, sometimes in the millions. Their destination is the same breeding colony where they were born, often 100 kilometers over 60 miles from the sea. This journey is so arduous that their bodies begin to run out of energy. There's no food on the way, and none at their destination either. Once they reach the breeding colony, they choose a partner. The male tries to impress the female by making strange sounds, puffing out his chest, and moving his head up and down in a dance-like motion. The healthier males get chosen more quickly. After mating, the female lays a single egg. By this point, she is completely exhausted. Throughout this entire process, for the past 2 months, neither penguin has eaten anything. They've been surviving solely on the energy stores from their last meal in the ocean. This is the sacrifice they must make, just to reproduce. But the male penguin makes an even greater sacrifice than the female. After laying the egg, the female carefully transfers it onto the feet of her male partner, never letting it touch the ice. And then all the females begin their journey back to the sea. The males, who have already been starving for 2 months, now stand holding the egg on their feet in this stormy, freezing weather, huddling closely together for warmth. Imagine this. For the next 2 months, these fathers stand through blizzards in temperatures as low as degrees C, -76 degrees F, without any food or water. They barely move from their spot to prevent the egg from falling and freezing. By the time the mothers return, the fathers have lost more than half their body weight after nearly 4 months of starvation. The mothers usually return just before the chicks hatch. But if the chick hatches before the mother gets back, the male penguin can produce a special, milky substance from his throat to feed the newborn. These are the last drops of his remaining energy. He is the ultimate father of the animal kingdom, protecting a new life without any regard for his own. When the chicks are about to hatch, and the females are returning with full bellies, they locate their partner in the crowded colony by recognizing his unique call. The female then takes over caring for the egg or newborn chick, and all the starving males finally head back towards the ocean to feed. When you look at it, the male emperor penguins make the ultimate sacrifice, all for the sake of their chick. This is why they are often called the world's best dads. But is every male penguin this caring? Probably not. Among Adelie penguins, the males are known not for sacrifice, but for being expert thieves. Yes, the very same species in the viral video. While emperor penguins are famous for their sacrifice, Adelie penguins are considered the most mischievous and cunning birds of Antarctica. Their nature is completely different. One of their strangest traits is how they build their nests. There is no grass or twigs on the Antarctic ice, so Adelie penguins build their homes out of pebbles. The male who builds the best nest significantly increases his chances of being chosen by a female. In their world, each pebble is as precious as a diamond. When a male Adelie builds a nest to impress his partner, he often chooses theft over hard work. Yes, when a neighbor isn't looking, the male Adelie will sneak over, steal a pebble from the other's nest, and add it to his own. Sometimes they will spend an entire day fighting over a single pebble. This strange behavior shows they are very social and hyperactive. Their system is also more balanced than the emperor's. The father doesn't starve alone. The mother and father take turns incubating the egg. While one goes to feed, the other stands guard. Their breeding colonies aren't as deep inland as the emperor's, but they may still need to travel up to 50 kilometers, about 30 miles. So the question remains, why would such a social and clever animal, so mindful of every single pebble, suddenly go astray and march towards certain death? When filmmaker Werner Herzog witnessed this scene, he was stunned. He saw a penguin separate from the crowd and then start walking in the completely wrong direction. Scientists have a name for this strange behavior, a psychotic break. Sometimes in humans or animals, the wires in the brain get crossed. Penguins have a built-in GPS, a natural navigation system in their brains. Scientists believe penguins can sense the Earth's magnetic field when they are at sea, just like a compass. Not only that, but they also use clues like the position of the sun, the stars, and the flow or smell of the water to remember their way. When they travel hundreds of kilometers back to their colony, their brain combines all these signals to guide them on the right path. But sometimes, Due to a brain infection, a parasite, or extreme stress or starvation, their internal system glitches. At that moment, the penguin no longer sees its companions or the sea ahead of it. Instead, a wrong route gets fixed in its mind. Have you ever wondered what might have happened to that penguin? Can animals truly feel sadness? Science says yes. When a penguin's chick dies in the brutal Antarctic winter, the parents don't just leave. They stand by their dead chick, making strange, mournful sounds. Sometimes their grief is so overwhelming that they try to steal other penguins' chicks, perhaps to ease the burden in their own hearts. So, is it possible that the viral penguin had lost a loved one? Science may call it a mental glitch, but to many who watch it, it feels like the penguin was a victim of distress or depression. When Werner Herzog filmed this clip, he didn't try to save the penguin. Antarctic law forbids interfering with the natural order. That lone traveler just kept walking towards the mountains until he disappeared from sight. Beyond that point, there are only thousands of miles of ice-covered mountains. No fish, no water. That penguin, overcome by hunger and exhaustion, likely froze to death somewhere in the ice. The world of penguins has so much to teach us. On one side, you have the emperor penguin, risking its life to save a new one. On the other hand, you have that lost soul, leaving everything behind for an unknown destination. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into their world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.